through static glow, Morse code tapping in the night, underneath the stars so bright, connecting folks from far and wide, waves in the air they provide, call signs echo through the ether, let's get closer, let's go deeper. Amateur radio roundtable so fine, join the chat and realign. From HF to VHF, we're all here, let's make the distance disappear. Twist the knob, find a friend.
All right, I want to say welcome to everybody out there that's tuned in tonight watching Amateur Radio Roundtable, a show about ham radio, amateur radio, shortwave, electronics, and you name it. We'll talk about just about anything on here. And you'll probably catch some really interesting conversations 30 minutes before the show starts. We talk about everything, and sometimes we have a lot of fun with it there. So if you're listening out there on shortwave radio, on world famous WBCQ on 7490, we'd love to hear from you, where you are and how you're hearing the station. Send an email to Tom at w5kub.com, Tom at w5kub.com. We're broadcasting tonight on X, on our Facebook group, and also on Twitter. No, wait, Twitter is X. Wait, we're in 3 places. Where are we? we're on YouTube. I get so confused, man. We're on
Twitch.
We're where?
Facebook. Twitch.
Facebook. We're on Facebook tonight. We're on our Facebook group, YouTube, and X. That's where we are. Those 3 places. Now,
okay.
What I was trying to get to was, we'd love to have you subscribe. It helps us out a whole lot if you can subscribe. So. I don't know where you're watching the show. We're in so many places. You may be watching it on w5kub.com. So just look and see if there's a little subscribe button down in the corner down here. And if it is, hit that subscribe button. Help us out a whole lot. If you like the show, hit the like and hit that notify button, because we're going to be doing some shows that are in between the Tuesday night shows, and you need to get notified, when these unscheduled shows come on. You might want to see them. So hit that subscribe button. Our Facebook group, by the way, our Facebook group is a ham radio Facebook group. It's called W5KUB. Just search for W5KUB, and we'll approve your membership there. Would love to have you join. Over 14,000 hams in that group, and it's I don't know, we're kind of stuck around 14,000 something. I think when we get quite a few more, I think Facebook comes in here and he cleans it out a little bit and it goes back down to 14. So I don't know what's going on there, but we've got a lot of people. I was just looking on our audio podcast. Our audio podcast is carried on just about every service out there, iHeartRadio, Google Play, all the carriers out there, and we're well over 100,000 downloads on our show now. So that's exciting to know that people are listening just to the show through our audio channel. All right, let's see what we got. Boy, we got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. Glenn's going to talk about the Crowley Ridge ham swap meet. I got some pictures here from him. And boy, I built this transmitter, man. Guys, you're going to have to see it in a minute. I built this transmitter, and I'm going to put it on the air. It's connected to an antenna right now. And I want to see if anybody in the chat room can receive it. I'm going to do a little test. This is a pretty high power device here. I'll give you a sneak peek of it here. Let's see. Here's a sneak peek. And there it is right there. The antenna connection is a bit bigger than the radio. And you can see it pulls a lot of power here. So I'm going to try to send out just a little test. I want to see if you guys can hear it. That's our first step. You know, my goal is to match it up to this receiver right here, and and make a contact with this receiver and that transmitter. And we'll talk more about that in a minute and all the problems I had there. So we're going to be doing that tonight. Hey, we got our first design from our NASA design from Mark P. He sent us a picture of the new Pico balloon solar platform that we may try out here. Hey, we'll talk a little about hamvention. We will stream hamvention Friday and Saturday of hamvention. I'm not going to worry about giving prizes away to anybody. It's going to be very informal, but Mark P. has been able to, I think, round up the same people that helped us last year, the TV crew at the high school. And we got some other things we're going to talk about there. But that's about it. Let's just go around the room here and see what's going on here. So there we go. Hey, Brett, what are you up to, man?
Oh, well, climbing rooftops, climbing towers, still working on recapping the radio that you see behind me. And also discovered a really good source of inexpensive base station radios. If you've got a cramped budget, and well, who doesn't nowadays with inflation? I found a way for $50 or less, if you're lucky, to get a good 25-watt base station radio that you can use in your home. I can talk about that now, or I can talk about that later in the show.
We'll show it a little later. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Anything else going on there? Did you go to the meeting tonight?
The city council is discussing digital billboards, which is interesting digital technology. Instead of renting the whole billboard and spending thousands of dollars per month, you can rent a time slice. And there were all sorts of discussions over whether that was a good idea and do they distract drivers and how bright are they and things like that. I personally think it's a good thing for local businesses because if you timeshare the billboard, then maybe you can get a cheaper rate, and that'll help small businesses. And it helps get the word out about your business. So I think that's generally a good thing. But the city council is hemming and hawing over what they want to do about that. They're going to be there all night.
Yeah, well, that's good. Hey, maybe we can pay for some advertising there on the billboard. What do you think, man? I mean, you're in with them, so maybe they'll give us a good price.
Yeah, maybe. Well, there are lots of hams, so I don't know if my small city is an ideal place to do it, but you'd certainly get attention. Who knows? Maybe you would.
Yeah, I mean, we could pick up 3 or 4 more people, maybe. There. That'd be kind of cool, yeah. Man. Well, if we get on there, I want you to take a picture of it and send it to the show here. We'll put it on here. All right.
Oh yeah.
All right, Glenn, tell us, man, what have you been up to, man?
Well, I've been over in Memphis working on the house to get it ready for sale, and had all kinds of fun with the Explorer having an alternator failure, and ended up boiling up a battery.
Oh, no.
The voltage regulator was hitting it with 16, 17 volts and got me home, but it was not pretty. Anyway, got that swapped out. Still have some minor issues, but I'm pretty sure that's the new alternator's got an issue. But you can't get a voltage regulator for an old car these days, so we'll get it figured out.
I'll tell you what.
We went to the...
Yeah. You can't even buy a battery. You can't even buy a battery without a bank loan almost anymore, man.
Pretty much, yeah.
Gee. Yeah, was a regulator built into your alternator, so she had to replace them both?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. And if I was the guy doing the work, I'd also sell you a fan belt.
Yeah, he did not, surprisingly enough.
Yeah.
But anyway, I did go to the Crowley Ridge Ham Fest in the Jeep. Interestingly enough, later in the week, the Jeep battery died.
Oh, no, man.
It died a more normal death. It was only like 5 old, so it was time. But anyway, we had fun at the Crowley's Ridge Ham Fest. Uh, I've got some pictures from there, and we also, oh, what's the best way to put it? Made arrangements on a crank up tilt over tower.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
Yeah,
When's that
good.
going to
and
happen? When
that
will that?
I don't know. Hang on, I'm going to have to step out for a minute. I'll
Okay.
be back in just a few.
Okay. Not a problem. Not a problem at all there. Uh, all right. Well, let's see. We'll just go right down here. When Glenn gets back, we'll talk about the Crowley's Ridge swap meet. And we'll look at the pictures there. Hey, Brett, why don't you go ahead and talk about your radio you got there? Motorola makes good radio.
Okay.
Yeah, there are a lot of good buys out there. And if you're able to program it, and I don't know how many channel that is. Are you limited to a certain number of channels on that radio? Tell us about it.
Okay. Well, this is a Motorola Radius VHF radio. And this is originally designed to be a commercial VHF radio. It's not. It wasn't really originally meant to work on amateur radio, but because you have a ham radio license, it's just like just like doing something homebrew. If you take responsibility for it and you're licensed, and you have confidence that you can that you can program it right, you can turn this into an amateur radio base station. And this particular model, as you can see if I hold it up, has 2 buttons on it. So this is just a 2-channel model. And these are dirt cheap on eBay. You can get these for always under $50, sometimes 20 or 30, depends on the condition. And if you've got a couple of local repeaters in your area, just 1 or 2 that you want to monitor all the time, this is a great thing to put in your garage and to put around the house. It's just a really nice thing to have. And since there are 2 busy local repeaters in our area, this is perfect for me. Now, in order to reprogram this to work as an amateur radio base station, you need to have the proper software. And Motorola always used to give this only to their technicians, and only specially certified technicians. But lately, the disk images have come out and are available on the internet, so you can search around, you can find the Motorola disk. But there's a catch: it's a floppy disk, and so you need to have a computer which takes at least 3.5-inch floppy disks. And so if you do have one of those, and it's an old one, and it also, if its CPU doesn't run too fast so that the timers don't overflow inside the software, you can use that to program the radio. There's another trick you need to know, which is as you type in the digits, if you're typing in a ham radio frequency, you have to hold down a certain combination of keys. I believe you have to hold down the control key as you type in the digits to be able to program in an amateur radio frequency. That's all documented online, so you can find it. And if you do all that right, you can have a wonderful 25-watt base station instead of paying $100 or more for it. You can have it. You can have it for a song. And so I like doing that. Now, there is another model of this Radius radio. This one, as I mentioned, has 2 buttons for 2 channels that has 6 channels. And so if you have that one, well, then you've got more repeaters you can choose from. But in general, in most localities, even the 2 are very useful. So I've now got one of these out in my workshop, and it's just very handy to hear when conversations are going on, and hear what's going on. Hear the weather, anything else that might be going on the channels in my area. So this is just sort of a useful economic tip in these times when everything is getting more expensive, especially things that are imported from Asia.
Yeah, my first 2-meter rig was a Motorola taxi cab radio, tube, heavy. It was a 2-channel. That's when 2 meters was just starting up back in the early 1970, I guess. And I think I put in the repeater 3494 on one channel, and I think we had direct on the other channel. I think we had 94 direct. I may have had 5.2. Boy, I don't remember. That's been many years ago. But That was a Motorola commercial rig, and it worked great for us. Now,
Yeah.
Somebody like Glenn might take that radio and take an Arduino and build up a DDS or some kind of synthesizer and plug it in a crystal socket there, and he'd have an all-frequency 25-watt radio.
Well, if it's programmable, it's already got that.
Yeah. Well, this one is limited to 2 meters. There's another model similar to the one that I've got here, which is UHF, and that can be used on the UHF M bands. But Motorola generally for the commercial radios made them very specific to the band that you had the commercial license for. So they weren't all banned, at least out of the factory. I don't know if you could modify them to make them that way.
Well, it'll be a fun project for you, and like you say, it's a cheap radio, and if there's a certain repeater that you want to set it on, that's cool.
Yeah. Now there is one thing about this radio that requires just a little bit of extra effort. Notice that antenna connector on the back.
Yeah.
That is a unique Motorola antenna connector. It's not UHF. It's not N. It's it's its own thing. And so you may need to get the connector or just get a patch cable in order to convert it to something like standard UHF antenna. It's not that hard to do, but it's an extra step if you want to use one of these radios. The power connector isn't a power pole. It's the same kind that's used on CB radios, but those are also fairly common.
Yeah. Well, I can fix that antenna connector there. All I need is a drill. Fix that sucker, man. All right. Well, that's cool. To keep us updated on your progress with it, and love to hear it. I don't, there's not much going on here. Memphis has got a bunch of repeaters, but there's almost nothing on them now. I haven't been on a VHF, UHF repeater in a number of years since I turned or gave up mine. I monitor 220. That's the only band that I get on. I've got it in the car and I've got it here. So there's a small group of us that are on 220 here. You got any 220 activity out there?
In our area, right now there's very little on 220. I'd kind of like to put up a repeater and rectify that.
Yeah.
But right now it's pretty much simplex. A few people who have rigs and HTs.
Okay. Well, very good. Keep us updated here. Well, Glenn, you want to talk about the Crowley Ridge swap meet? I've got the pictures here.
Sure
I can
thing.
bring them up.
Yeah.
And you can kind of talk about them. So.
Yeah, it was a tailgate ham fest there in Crowley Ridge State Park over in eastern Arkansas. And it's really nice, had a good turnout. Yeah. And they fixed burgers and everything. Had a couple folks
it's a big
from
open
Memphis.
area right there for tailgating.
Oh yeah, it was beautiful. It was nice. The weather was perfect. And lots of good stuff was there. And that's why I also made the arrangements for the tower there with Joe Lowenthal. w5kub-119 was over there from Memphis.
Did he get one through some type of estate sale or something?
Yeah, it's for somebody who's still alive, but they're wanting to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And it's about a 50-foot all aluminum crank up tilt over, which is exactly what I was hoping to find.
Well, that's all you need, man. That's all you need,
And his friend Don that was there with him even agreed to bring it over to me here in Arkansas.
Well, that's cool.
So it's going to be delivered to me here sometime in the near future. So there's my tower I'd been looking for.
Yeah.
And we also had a fox hunt run by Michael, KK4IOH, that was a lot of fun.
Hmm.
And hiking the trails there and got some exercise and everything. But all in all, a very nice, pleasant day. And right after we left, the storms moved in.
Oh, wow. Well,
So,
I was going to try to make it. I told him I would try to, but that ended up the Easter weekend, and we had so
yeah.
many family people and lunches and dinners and things going on here. I just didn't make it here.
No,
All right.
it was really nice. It was pleasant. So I mean, it was a perfect thing to do on a weekend.
So
And,
let's look at these pictures here. You got a few of them here. Let me
Yeah.
go back. So there's that NI5A. I recognize that call. I don't remember.
yeah, but he had a lot of parts there.
Yeah, you got some hard
two
line
tables
there,
worth.
and
The hard line and all kinds of connectors there in those little bins.
looks like a power inverter there on the table.
Right.
Oh, yeah, power inverter. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Well, I gotta stop it. It's wanting to
Yeah.
scan on me here. Let me stop it. I haven't mastered this program yet. Here we go. There we go. Now it looks
There
like
you
to
go.
me that the eating was already happening here, man. I don't know if that was lunchtime or if y'all
Yep.
ate all day.
No, it was a little early, about 11.
It looks like a burger.
But,
That looks like a cheeseburger.
Yeah. They had burgers and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, well, was the food free?
Yes.
Well, that's cool, man. I should have went, man.
Yeah, you should have.
Well, got
But
me a couple
yeah, this gentleman
cheeseburgers.
was selling some rigs, a signal generator, and of course that oscilloscope, digital
Yeah.
scope there.
Yeah.
And
Ooh, there's some speakers. Yeah.
speakers without the magnets.
Oh,
But I actually bought that little bundle of the wire right there in the front for my Arduino projects.
I don't
There's
see
a whole
it.
bunch of little connectors, but I wanted it for the wire, that stuff in that bag,
Oh, okay.
right in
Yeah.
front of the speakers.
Yeah, okay. Okay. All right. Mars was there?
No, wait. Mars was there.
Oh, that's Air Force Mars.
Yeah.
I thought a while back they did away with some of the Mars. Maybe I thought they phased
You
them
got
out.
me there.
I thought maybe they phased them out and it was just Army left, but I guess not.
Obviously not, because the Air Force Mars was there.
Yeah. I need to join up with them there so I can get me another call. I'd be somebody like
Yeah.
A5 KUB, you know?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. All right, let's see what we got here, man. Let's see.
There's some good stuff.
There's a high power tuner there on the left end of the.
Yeah, that was some of Joe Lowenthal and the estate stuff that they
Oh, okay.
sell.
Yeah, he does a lot of that estate stuff.
Yeah. Yeah,
There's
he's with the
a,
Memphis Club.
TS looks like the 820 external. It's a tuner back here on the back side of the table.
Right, yeah.
That matches an 820. Ah, the headphones, the high headphones. I think that's the same one I saw in Memphis.
That's
couple
the
weeks
Pro
ago.
Set Elite. Yeah,
Yeah, I think I saw those in Memphis a couple weeks ago.
that's correct.
I
Yeah,
picked them
those were
up,
there.
but the black cushion around the ears, it had some tape on it. They were really sticky, man. So I
Yeah,
put them back
no.
down. Now, what was in that box right there on the far right? Do you know?
Capacitors, high value capacitors.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see them now.
Yep,
I see 'em.
electrolytics.
Yeah. And
Yep.
what is that behind? Some type of tuner?
MFJ tuner, yeah.
Yeah. And
And then the front there, is that a scanner?
where's that?
Second from the left?
I think it's a rig.
I
I
think
think
it's
it's a
radio,
2-meter
yeah.
rig.
I think it's radio.
Yaesu or Kenwood rig, probably a Yaesu.
Now, what is the back in the center of the back? The little white face, it's got a meter on it.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
I mean, it's not a lunchbox.
Possibly
or
a signal generator.
Yeah.
No, it's something
I'm
simple and
thinking
basic.
power supply, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. All right.
And then that's the other table there.
Yeah. I think that
Kenwood TS2000. And that's Joe, by the way, and Don.
that doesn't even look like Joe to me.
It
I guess it
is.
is. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Phone
had the
patch,
Astron power
top
supply.
on the left end there is a phone patch, heat phone
Uh-huh.
patch, TS2000. And it looks like to the right of the TS2000, that's an HF rig there. Is that the
That's
ST8?
857, Yaesu 857.
Okay. 857. There's a back center of the table there. Well, to the right, there's a 35 amp metered MFJ power supply.
Uh-huh.
And, watt meter right there in the center. Back.
Yeah.
I think it's a watt,
MFJ.
watt meter. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And they had a couple of the keyers there. They had a real Vibroplex and a Bencher keyer.
Yeah, I saw those. I saw those at Free Fest. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Those things go for big bucks now. You know, I've got the deluxe Vibroplex key that my mom and dad bought me in 1964.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you it's the Chrome Deluxe model. Looks just like that. I bet you
Yeah.
it was I bet you it was $34 back then. But you know what? Back
Uh-huh.
then, I think you multiply that by about 10, don't you?
Something like that. And then you add
$34,
another,
it's probably like 300 and something dollars. You know, now.
just about, yeah, because you can't get them anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah, the
they
benchers
also
are
had
going
the
to become
Bencher.
collector's items. Yeah.
That's good because I got a Bencher here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I
Yep.
think that may be all of them. Yeah, that was all the pictures. But looks like they had a nice.
No, there's more pictures.
Really?
Yeah.
That's all I downloaded.
Huh, because there's pictures of the fox hunt.
Oh, really? Well,
Yeah.
didn't get it then.
Oh, well.
That's all right. So they got a nice dry place there, even if it rained. It looks like is that concrete or like asphalt or gravel?
That was asphalt.
Okay.
And, you had the pavilion with a roof in the back there if it
That'd be a
rained or
nice
something.
place.
So.
That'd be a nice place to do field day or something. You got a pavilion back there. You got
Yeah.
a bunch of trees. You can put the antennas up and.
It was nice. It was a very pleasant day.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
I was happy.
All right. Well, thanks for the report there.
Yeah, too bad you didn't have the fox hunt pictures. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Fox hearts are fun. The trick is getting a good antenna and knowing
Well,
how
this
it
was-
and knowing how it behaves.
This was a very low powered transmitter, and they put it in the crook of a pine tree and then covered it over with pine needles.
Mm.
Ah,
So it was very well hidden, very difficult to find, but they found it and it was really nice. A lot of fun.
I think I would have put two different transmitters out there and had them timed where they come on different times.
Yeah.
You know, put one at one end of the park and put the other one at the other end of the park. And
Or
everybody runs down to this
tie it-
end, and everybody runs down to this end, and then all of a sudden, then everybody runs back to the other end. You know?
Yeah.
That'd be
Or
kinda-
tie it around my ankle as I
That'd be kinda
follow
cool.
them.
Yeah.
a parafox.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And have two prizes. You get two winners.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
But no, it was good, very enjoyable, a lot of fun. And so yeah, it was a good weekend all the way around. I mean, I really am glad that I went.
Mm-hmm.
So,
All right.
but
All
now
right, hey.
I don't have anything other than my class reunion here in a couple of weeks, the house sale, and then Dayton, and then I get pay attention, Papa Doc. I got cardiologist coming up in May. So
Oh wow.
gonna be a busy May and June for me. I get it on both ends.
Mm.
Cardiologist in May and urologist in June.
Yeah.
But it's all cleanup, maintenance, final tuning kind of thing. It's nothing earth shattering at this point.
Well, that's good.
So I mean, we're talking. Papa Doc will know this. It's cardiac ablation to stop my AFib, and then the urology is guy stuff, so I can sleep through the night. So
Yeah. All right.
all good. It's all
right.
positive.
Well, let's move on here. Hey guys, coming up here in a minute,
Yeah.
we're gonna put a signal on the air with the 100 milliwatt transmitter here, and we're gonna see if anybody can see it or hear it. I don't know if you can see it or not, but so we're gonna be on 7023 plus or minus 1. I don't know where we are exactly, but we're gonna be around 7023, and I'll send some tests out. And I want to see if anybody can pick it up. That'd be interesting. That's the first step. And then later we'll try to make a contact with it and with our little tiny receiver here. So we'll be right back in just a minute, and we're going to do that. That's coming up next. So don't go away here. Icom's amateur radios are the gold standard for ham radio enthusiasts, combining cutting-edge technology, unmatched reliability, and user-friendly design. Whether you're chasing DX, experimenting with digital modes, or laying a local net, Icom radios deliver crystal clear performance and seamless connectivity. Icom's IC7760 is the pinnacle of the base station excellence for amateur radio enthusiasts. Designed to deliver unmatched performance, the IC7760 features state-of-the-art technology, exceptional RF clarity, and an intuitive interface, all housed in a sleek and durable design. The base station features a separate remote control head and RF deck, providing enhanced flexibility for installation. Place the RF deck closer to the antenna feed point, freeing up space on your desk. You can also connect the control head to the RF deck through your home network, enabling remote operation from just about anywhere in your home without needing a PC. For more information about Icom's amateur radios, please visit icomamerica.com/amateur. Okay, guys, we are back, and I want to tell you about this. I wanted to build a transmitter to match this receiver. If you guys remember, I got this little receiver here. It's really small. It does AM, FM, shortwave, upper sideband, lower sideband, all that. I can't hardly work it. All the functions are through this one switch here. And I've only got it down to 1 kc steps, so I don't know how the tone's going to sound here. And I don't have an antenna on it right now. But I built this transmitter here. You can see the little transmitter here. I built it the same size as the receiver. And I wanted to see if I could make a contact with this combo here. I can carry that around in my pocket. You can see we're running a 9-volt battery. And we're going to be running 100 milliwatts. 100 milliwatts. I did push this little transistor here up to 309 milliwatts, but it was starting to get warm. That's the 2N2222A. It was starting to get a little warm, so I backed it off a little bit there. Now, I want to tell you something. I don't know. I've been in electronics all my life. I've built stuff. I've designed stuff. I've repaired stuff. And a little crystal oscillator is a very simple circuit. That's what this is. This is just a crystal oscillator. So I want to show you something. I pulled up some crystal oscillators on the thing, and I built these. None of them would work. I don't know if the breadboard was bad. I was plugging them into. But, I tried this one here. It didn't work. I built it twice. It didn't work. All right, so here's another one right here. I built that one twice. It didn't work. I don't know. I couldn't make it work. So let's see. Then I built, here's another one right here. I built that sucker right there, and I don't think it worked. I don't know. So I said, okay, I'm going a different route. So, here that I put together, I built it. It didn't want to work. So then I built this one right here. I said, let's go back to old tube days. You see, this doesn't really have the feedback. See the feedback circuit and everything here? This one doesn't have that. It's real simple. And I said, this is like the old tube days, you know. So I put this thing together here, and I put some variable resistors here and here and right here. And the variable resistors allowed me to set the biasing of the transistor. And also the variable resistor right here let me set the gain, whether I wanted to run 300 milliwatts or 100 milliwatts or so forth. So I built this little circuit up right here, and guess what? It worked. Now, I was starting to get real embarrassing. I've done this all my life, man. I mean, I'm a radio engineer, RF engineer. I'm a senior member of the IEEE. I'm not a member. I'm a senior member of IEEE, and I thought if I can't make this thing work, they're gonna throw me out, man. I mean, I should be able to make a simple, crystal oscillator work, and basically the thing the oscillator didn't have but just a few parts in it. There's 1, 2, 3, 4,
Tom, you need
5, 6.
You need to flip your camera so we can see this stuff. We're not seeing it.
Are you telling me we didn't have the camera on the whole time?
Not on the schematic. No.
All right. I'll show you again just real quick. Hey, I built that one. It didn't work. I built that one right there. It didn't work. I built that one right there. It didn't work. Oh, yeah. So there's another one that didn't work. There's another one that didn't work. I built 4 or 5 or 6 that didn't work. I mean, here's one here. You know, you see the crystal. You see the feedback circuit right here. This is supposed to be a nice little crystal oscillator right here. It didn't work. So this is where I said, okay, I'm going back to old tube days. Hey, transistor places a tube right there, biasing resistors, another resistor here that helps me set the gain. And by putting some pots in here, I was able to adjust the biasing on that transistor right there, and I was able to adjust this one and set the gain of it. I was getting about 300, let's see, I got as many as 316 milliwatts out at 10 volts.
That'll make your transistor hot.
It was getting hot. I can run 20 dBm or 100 milliwatts. That doesn't really get hot. That's anywhere from 5 volts to 8 volts. It runs about 100 milliwatts. So anyway, that's the one I ended up with. And like I said, I've done all this all my life, man. I have built stuff, designed stuff, troubleshoot stuff. Prestigious IEEE, and I couldn't make nothing work. And I was thinking, okay, well. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yep.
unless
So
you give me a raise.
The what? What was that?
Go ahead, Brett.
Go ahead. I'm interested in the details of that circuit. You have the you have a looks like you have a choke there coming off the collector going to VCC.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that all the RF goes through the capacitor. Is that the idea?
Well, yeah. It keeps RF from going back into your power supply.
Yeah, so all your RF goes out to your capacitor.
And that's just, in fact, what I used there, and it worked out really, really well. What I used here is one of the straws with the windings on it that I did for the Pico balloon, and it worked. It worked great. This little toroid here and 2 caps right here make a pi network to filter the output. I wasn't going to put that on at first, but it's got quite good harmonics here, so I wanted to clean it up a little bit. So we put the we put the pi filter there, low pass filter on the output there. But basically, it's just one transistor, and that's about it. So what I wanted, go ahead.
Now, if you do not give me a raise, I'm writing a letter to the IEEE.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, I didn't give me the raise.
All right, man. I'll double your salary. Just don't write.
There we go.
IEEE,
Okay,
man.
I'm good.
They'll demote me down to a junior.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'll be a junior member.
Take that senior away.
I'll be a junior member then, man. It'd be so embarrassing. I won't be able to listen to anybody. Okay, so guys, here it is. Here's the receiver. Now, one thing I found. Let's see. Let me turn this receiver on. All right, so, it sounds funny. The tones changed, Glenn. They're changing. I think it's this receiver. I'm listening on my 7610 over there, and it sounds perfect. No chirp, no nothing. But on this receiver here, boy, it sounds awful, you know. Plus, I don't know how to adjust the BFO in here, and I can only do 1 kc increments here. Let's see if we can hear it here. Let me see.
Well,
See if you guys can hear it. And then we're going to do a test. Let's see. Let me see if I can put this mic over here somewhere. Can you hear that? Probably not. Let's see.
Yep.
Yeah, it sounds like
Wait
a
a minute.
modulated tone. There you go.
with no antenna, it might be going right into the radio circuits.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it sounds bad here, but over on the 7610, it sounds pretty good, actually. Let's see if I can. I'll put the mic over here, see if you can. This little receiver, it's not much, I can tell you that right now. So anyway, let's see. You hear that?
That sounds a lot cleaner.
Yep.
Yes.
So it's clean on my 7610, but on this little thing here, it sounds lousy, man. It sounds really lousy.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, here we go. We're going to do, I want to see if anybody, I've got this hooked up through my coax here to a 40-meter delta loop out there. I got a 40-meter delta loop out there, and this is hooked to it. 100 milliwatts. We're only traveling out there about 150 feet to the antenna. I do have some low-loss cable going out there, but at HF, the low loss is not that big anyway. Anyway, I'm going to send some tests out. The word test, I'll send some V's, I'll send some V's. And I'm not going to worry about, you said there was a high-speed conversation going on here. I'm not going to worry too much about my 100 milliwatts QRM and anybody. So y'all listen really close in the background, tune around 7023. Now, also I found by biasing this transistor, it actually is floating the frequency a little bit plus or minus, but it's around 7023. So if you will, get your radio on. Okay. Do we have anybody listening out there? Mark, are you listening? Mark, SZX, are you listening? Okay, we're gonna send some tests when you guys get ready.
I think Andy is listening, but he
Andy's
said
listening. Okay.
7023 is busy.
Well, listen for my little 100 milliwatt QRM in the background. Okay, so hey, I'm not used to a straight key like this. I use the automatic key in my rig, but I can handle slow speed straight key. So here we go. All right, here we go. We're gonna do some V's.
Bill's listening.
Okay, did anybody hear anything? There's a pile up on there. Nothing here. Okay, PR said he didn't hear it. All right. All right. Well, I wasn't expecting a whole lot with 100 milliwatts here, actually. All right, let me try it one more time. All right, you guys tune around again and listen. Here we go.
Yeah, they say it's hard to hear next to the big pileup. Mark is switching from the Tipton County, Tennessee SDR to somewhere else. Larry's got S7 noise. Unfortunately, Bill, I don't think he's got it where he can adjust the frequency.
All right. All right, I guess everybody heard me, huh? Okay. So my next step, look how much room I've got left on this board right here. You see it right there? I'm going to build a 10-watt amplifier right there. I've got plenty of room right here. I can put a 5 to 10-watt amplifier here really easy. So we're going to, maybe by next week, I'll have maybe a 15-watt amplifier here on it. And then you might be able to hear 15. I'm sure you could hear 15 watts probably. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was an interesting test. Nobody heard it.
Hey, at least it works.
Yeah, it does. It does. And
Yeah, so we'll let you keep your master IEEE.
all right, man. It's not master. It's senior.
Oh,
Senior. I think to be a master. I don't know what it takes to be a master. I don't think they have one. Anyway, okay. Let's see. One step out further. Not sure the skip zone. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see. What's the comments here? Let's see. Trick is the output. Not sure you get the best match. Yeah. Well, it's hard to say. Well, I had it going into a 50 ohm load. My spectrum analyzer is a 50 ohm load, and I tuned it to match that 50 ohm spectrum analyzer. So we should be close. Now, is the antenna 50 ohm? Who knows? It's a full wave delta loop out there with a 4-to-1 balun on it. So I doubt it's exactly 50 ohms. It's somewhere low.
Yeah. What does your circuit look like? What is the load on the emitter? What resistance did you choose? What did you choose to put on the resistor?
Yeah, it's just a low value resistor. Let's see. It's just why did audio keep coming on? Okay, it's just a low value.
72 ohms.
It's just a low value resistor here. I started off with a 380, and actually I put a pot in. Actually, I finally ended up putting the pot in there where I could adjust it. So anywhere from 72 ohms to 380 to 400. It's going to vary the gain on that transistor, and of course that varies the output there. So anyway, hey, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, man. This is what, after I put I started off with like a 10K here, a 10K and a 4700 here for biasing. And then what I ended up doing is I put in a potentiometer, up there at the top and the bottom, and adjusted them both to where it worked the best. And then I measured the resistance. The top resistor there turned out to be 6.25K, and the bottom was 4.61K, very close to 4700. So yeah. So anyway, it was a cool little project. After I just about gave it up after about 5 builds. Now I built it on one of those little, what do you call those boards, Glenn? It's a little prototype.
that looks like a copper-clad circuit board.
Well, I did. After I got it working, I moved it over to that. But but yeah.
Perf board?
What was that? No.
Copper-clad perf board?
No. This is what I first was building them on.
Oh, breadboard.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's a prototyping breadboard.
Yeah, I was building on this, and my problem was I was building every one of them right in the same area here, and I have known that some of these connectors I had in the past go bad. So
Yeah.
I don't know what was going on. It didn't work very good with this thing, and so I decided. Well, once I got it working with this other schematic here, then I said, okay, I'm gonna put it on some copper-clad board here. All right. Well, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm gonna try. I will put I mean, I've got a half inch here. I've got a half inch by almost an inch long. I got plenty of room to put like a 15-watt amplifier right there. Yeah, man. Because, you know, to get 15 watts there, all I got to do is put one MOSFET, you know, high power MOSFET transistor there and some biasing, just like I did here. And I'll run the output of it through the same filter.
Yeah.
And
are you going to direct couple or use a transformer?
It's coupled through a capacitor. The output's coupled.
Yeah,
through.
well, I mean, the power amplifier.
It'll be coupled with that capacitor, probably like a 0.01 into the gate of a MOSFET. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, maybe next week we'll have a 15-watt rig there built on this little board right here.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
If you're willing to use 2 transistors, you could do a push-pull amplifier.
Yeah, but I probably will run out of room there. This will be a 2 transistor. It'll be the oscillator driving a MOSFET PA. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, Mark P is questioning, are you going to get those 15 watts on a 9-volt battery?
Yeah, I will. You know, it's interesting. That 9-volt battery, you can pull some current out of that battery. Now, I'm not going to say how long that battery will last, but heck, you probably pull an amp out of that thing, out of that 9-volt. What do you guys think we can pull out of a 9-volt battery? You think we can get an amp out of it? I think we can get an amp.
Definitely get a quarter of an amp out of it. Don't know about more than that.
You think a quarter amp's all?
Steady.
Yeah. But, you know, CW is like 50% duty cycle and might be able to get a little bit more
According to Google, a 9-volt battery can deliver a current of around 500 mil for a short period of time.
Okay.
Now, if you put a capacitor on it, it can deliver more if it's not a full 50% duty cycle.
I've got a bunch of supercapacitors here. In fact, they've come out with some new ones now, and I ordered a bunch of them, different values. I've got some 40 farads over here.
Wow.
40 farads, and they're still pretty small, man. And the voltage is higher on them. When I was first building the trackers, we were using super caps, but they were all 2.7 volt, and we had to we had to put them in series so we could, you know, cover our 5 volts because they were only 2.7. But they've come out now this year with some, and Bill showed me this, with some super caps now that are good for up to 5 volts or 6 volts. Some of them are, but look at the size of here. There's a 40, those are 40 farads. Those are small. Each one of them is 40, that's a 40 farad, 10 farads, 20 farads.
Wow.
20 farads.
That's like another battery.
Yeah, just about. So I could put if the 9-volt battery doesn't quite handle it, this probably would do the trick. I'm thinking, you know. Let's see. Bill says if I send CQ, it might show up on, reverse beacon. Okay, I'll do that, guys. I thought about reverse beacon, and but I couldn't think of what it was called. I thought it was called PS something.
Well, that's a different one.
Different one. Okay.
That's PSK Reporter. I'll scan that site if you
send. Okay. All right. I'll send my call some, and let's see. I don't know how that thing picks it up automatically, but I'll send my call a few times. If anybody's listening on 7023 right now, I hope I'm not QRMing somebody. So anyway, I doubt my signal is going to really make a big difference.
At 100 milliwatts, the odds are low.
So if you guys will watch the PSK reporter and reverse beacon, let's see. Let's see.
I'm watching it now.
Let's see. CW it was cooked up. Okay.
pskreporter.info.
Okay. Here we go. Let me. Wait a minute.
Bill says you have to send 3 tests, 3 CQs, then your call twice.
Wait a minute. Hey, Mark here says hearing you weekly on an SDR.
He's
in
talking
Canada.
about Bill.
Oh.
He's hearing
Okay, I got
Bill,
you. I got you.
WBAD,
Okay, I got you. All right. Well, I got a lot of stuff. Okay. So, CQ 3 times and then the call twice? Or test. Okay. All right, here we go. Y'all listen, see if anybody answers me back, because I don't have an antenna on the other radio there. All right, here we go. Let's see, what's going on here? We're not working. Something quit. You know what happened?
Don't forget to switch cameras.
No, you know what happened?
The battery.
Let me show you. It's my luck. Look at this.
Something blew out.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oops.
Oh,
All right. I can fix that real quick. I got a clip lead.
alligator clip.
Alligator clip. I'll fix that. All right. We're going to try this.
Good old alligator clip leads. Great for
That's
prototyping.
right. And it's only going to add a little inductance or something. I mean, it's going to do something. All right. So let me trim this back right here.
If you have a choke, it won't become an antenna, hopefully.
Yeah. All right. Here we go.
Since it's on the power lead or the ground lead, it's not going to be that much of anything.
Here we go. Okay, we're back in business.
There you go.
All right, so CQ 3 times in the call, and we'll repeat that, I guess, 3 times. Okay, here we go.
2. 3.
So I didn't see where it said send a call 3 times. I only saw 2 times, but
No, twice.
just twice. Okay, so I'm going to repeat that again. And there was also the word test. Does that work, somebody?
So yeah, you use CQ or test 3
Okay.
times.
We'll try test this time. All right, so what's that 599 in Ohio? Who's talking? Who's that? Is he talking about Bill?
He's kidding.
Oh, is he?
I'm not seeing you on PSK Reporter right now.
Yeah, well,
And I'm not seeing you on the reverse beacon network.
that was a long shot. That was going to be a long shot anyway. Nothing. Okay. Well, hey, we gave it a shot. Next week, next week we may have our negative wire soldered back on, and we may have 15 watts sitting there. Okay. Bill says nothing on reverse beacon.
That's correct.
Okay. Well, very good. Okay. Well. All right. So that was a little project I had this week. And, okay. Let's see what else we got here. Hey, you know, Mark P is opening up our KUB Research Center up in Kettering, Ohio, up there, right out of Dayton. And he is, somehow he got a hold of some NASA plans. Let me get here, let's see. Let me see if I can find it here. He got a hold of some NASA plans in a there we go. He has built a platform for our solar cells. We're trying to come up with new modern space age platform to put our solar cells on instead of the styrofoam, you know, that I use. So they printed this up, and he's got it down pretty thin right now. It still comes in about 3 grams, but we can probably take the cutters and cut some of that out if it's not used. And I think that's a 5x5. We could probably reduce it down to a 4x5 and still get 8 cells on. So we're working to try to get a better platform for our cells. So that's our Research and Development Center up in Kettering. And somehow he got into the NASA specifications there. I don't know if he did that one night when everybody was gone, or how he got that. But, so there it is. There.
He says he's got samples he can send you now.
Yeah. Well, and we'll try it. We'll see how we can. We'll have to super glue the cells on there, and that's going to be interesting to see how strong it is. You know, I don't guess with a 3D printer you can't print what the carbon. What is it? What's that? What's the real strong stuff?
Carbon fiber.
Carbon fiber. Yeah, I don't guess you can do that with a 3D, can you?
I don't know.
I wonder how they do that. Okay. All right. Hey, I had a few pictures here. Let's see what we got here. Pictures tonight. Anybody remember that? Of course, this goes back to old day. 1970 Heathkit catalog.
Oh, wow.
And there's my radio. It's pretty small here. Up at the top right. Is that a 101 or a 100?
100.
Okay. That's the radio. That was my first sideband rig. I bought that when I was in the Air Force, and I got a raise.
Yep, my first.
Yeah. $250 raise per year. And that radio was $250, and I said, I'm buying that radio. Went to the credit union, got a loan, and bought that radio, and boy, I had a lot of parts in it. I laid them out on a bed in a spare bedroom, and I built that sucker. And that was a great rig. And, you know, probably 20 years, 30, 40 years later, I sold that radio for the same price I paid for it, you know, $250. Man.
That HW16 next to it is my first HF rig.
Yeah? Well, what was it going for?
109.
Yeah. But you know, we got to really think back then. That you had to get today's cost on that. You probably had to multiply it by about 10. That'd probably be
look at that SB220 there at $349.
The SB
The amp.
320.
220. It's a
220 is
2K.
the amp. Yeah, that's their big amp. That's their 2 kilowatt
Yeah,
amp,
that's
I
the
think.
2K
Yeah,
PEP.
yeah. Well, they had some nice stuff. You know, they really did, man.
Yes, they did.
They had some nice stuff here. Let's see what else. Look at there, man.
Oh yeah, the 6-meter rig.
Look at, and they also had a tour. You could get that in 2 meters.
Right.
And they were called lunch boxes. You got the handle on top, and I think, of course, it was crystal control back then, I think. And boy, there's your push-talk switch over there on the bottom right. That's cool. Look at that microphone.
Yeah.
Pretty design, man.
Yeah, well, the tuning, it says S1, S2, S3, so that must have just selected your crystal.
Yeah, that probably it was a crystal selector.
Socket 1, socket 2.
Yeah. You know, you guys going to Dayton pretty soon. You might see this guy up there or something very similar. All those antennas look pretty. Wait a minute. Those are like tri-band. Look. I didn't see the coil at the top.
Yeah.
Those antennas have got 2 coils in them. They must be tri-banders or something. And look.
I wonder why so many.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he's trying to throw the pattern in a certain direction. I don't know, man. Look at that. You would think they might interfere with each other being that close. I mean, you know.
Just a little bit.
People are always asking, how close can I put an antenna to another antenna? Well, you put as close to you as you have to get your antenna up, but I wouldn't suggest putting that many all together like that.
No.
A bird
Not when
couldn't
they're
fly.
so close to the same length. You're going to make a Yagi out of that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, in certain direction. Yeah, if he could steer that sucker, it'd be like a steerable vertical array, I mean, you take an antenna there in the center, and it probably every 10 degrees in a circle, you've got gain. Man. There we go. Now this is back. This is, I love it, man.
Oh, there you go.
This is back when this is how we used to have to work, man. Well, 1 tube. No, it's a 2 tube.
Well, the other
Well,
tube's
one's,
a voltage
one's just the
regulator.
power supply rectifier.
Yeah, it's the rectifier. It's the rectifier, and the other tube is your oscillator and your output. That's kind of what I built here, with the transistor oscillator.
Now notice the capacitors on the crystal. That can I didn't see one in your circuit. That might have made a difference to get your circuit started oscillating.
Yeah, well, I don't have any problem oscillating now. I might could trim it a little bit and maybe swing the frequency a little bit, but yeah, that was the good old days right there for sure.
Yep.
Hey, here's something good right here. If you ever have trouble finding circuit breakers, I can send you the schematic. You could build this. I would not go out and buy it. You just need a switch and a line cord. It's nice to put it in a box if you want to, but just plug that in your receptacle and flip the switch, and that will identify the breaker circuit that it's on.
Yep. It won't keep you in the dark, but it might put you in the dark.
I would say that he probably needs to put a cover over the switch cover there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here we go. We got our thing we just talked about. Now, I don't know about this
Oh,
antenna
good
here.
heavens.
I don't know, man. Now, this is...
With some fancy plumbing.
I'd hate to run in, rear end somebody. I mean, I don't know how far that sticks out, but this is... I don't know, man. I can't make it out.
That's kind of impressive.
Or depressive. I don't
He's
know,
even
man.
got it guyed to the bumper.
Yeah, it is. It's guyed on both sides of the bumper.
And he has multiple vehicles with those on them. The truck behind him has also got one. And the one behind that.
It does.
Sure does. Absolutely does.
He's got a fleet of these things.
Yeah, look at that. This must be some secret government project here,
Yeah.
Oh man, I think that's pretty.
Now, according to Chris, it's all 11 meters.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it's funny. I could look
Maybe
at
it's
this for a long time.
CB.
Yeah,
That's what Tom's son is saying.
yeah. Oh, man. You want to know how many alternators he has? But yeah, every one of those trucks back there.
Yeah.
Now you'd think if this is some kind of government thing, they'd all be like black SUVs. But I see
Yeah.
it.
And the one on the left there has got tie down, so it's got something similar.
Yeah, I know. The other ones back in the background have tie downs, those orange tie downs. I don't know.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Gee.
Yeah.
Well, they all look like they're built the same. Yeah. Interesting.
And where is this picture from? Is that Hara Arena?
I don't know. No, I just found it. It
No,
may
that's
be in
not
it may
Hera.
be in Hara Arena. It may show up there. You never. This kind of stuff shows up there. Let's see. Chris just
Chris
sent me
is saying that photo is in New Orleans.
is
Oh.
it really?
That's what Chris
Okay.
says.
Yeah, Chris has sent me. Let's see. Let's see what we got here. Let me try something here. Let me try something here.
Let's go, Storm. Let's go, storm me off. Stagecoach out of retirement. So, this stagecoach truck right here.
That's a tall antenna.
Yeah, that's some serious stuff.
Oh, actually, no, it's on
He's not going to be able to get under an overpass with that.
Oasis Suburban. Yes, sir. Go, Mr. D-Lim. Yes, sir, ma'am. Shoot.
Oh, he will,
Still got
but
connections
just
over there?
not necessarily intact.
If it does, they heard
Yeah.
me on that one too. Appreciate you, man. So, we hearing them rev. That's custom.
All these got it.
Got another alternator wired up. I think was working on that a little
Good
bit earlier.
heavens.
So they're getting that all ready and prepped. I'll leave them alone. Again, ideally, if you want to be pretty respectful, you try to leave the key if you're doing the testing tune alone. You can record when they're revving and stuff, but just stay away from the truck when they got the stuff open. It's just kind of rude. But yeah, show you guys what I was going on. You see these bunch of antennas, drifter. There's 350 right here. That's his truck right there. Go, Stone.
Good grief.
So, okay, I didn't get the whole thing there. So, Chris, you might tell me, is there any description or anything that went with that video that might tell us more about what that is exactly? It may be, look at it on Google, let's see. 25,000
there-
watts, he said.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, Chris is saying in the comments, apparently they were running 25 kilowatts.
Yeah.
CB channel, CB 11 meters. Just slightly
My
illegal.
goodness. My goodness. Back to, let's see if I had any other pictures here.
They're going to own the band with that one.
That was all the pictures I had right there.
All the pictures.
Yeah. All right. Interesting. It's funny how we find these things, you know.
Yeah, that's something.
Oh, gee. What's the comment there say? Let's see. There was one comment that just said run 5 watts and get your ham license. Okay. Well, Bill did a test on reverse
50
Beacon. They did
watts.
pick him up. Multiple alternators.
That was done at 50 watts.
Oh, yeah. All right. What else we got going there? Hey, let's talk real quick here about Dayton. Mark P. has lined up some of the kids that from the high school that helped last year. They're in the I don't know the exact class they're taking. They got a nice TV studio production deal there at school. A lot of schools are having it now. Anyway, they're there, and a couple of kids last year enjoyed doing it for us, and I think they're going to be back. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to stream Hamvention that Friday and Saturday here. Nothing official, nothing formal, but we're going to have some multiple cameras coming in. We'll probably have split shots like what you're seeing right now. We will have the sky cam up where you can see the flea market outside, and Mark will have a camera there in his booth, and then we'll have some of our roving reporters walking around, and they'll be making video that is going to come back, and I think it's going to work out pretty good. Not sure if I keep it on all day, both days, but we may have some fun there. And maybe we can kind of manage it a little better than last year. Last year we had some volunteers, but everybody was wanting to do it at the same time. So we had all these cameras running at the same time, and that didn't work out very well for us. So maybe Mark can help to spread that out where we have, a good solid video coming in from a single person at different times where we can relay it back to you. All right, so we're going to be doing that, and I'm not going to go again this year. This will be my second or third year that I did not go back. After 40 straight years, I figure I've seen it all, so not going back. All right, so we've talked about we've talked about all the things here on my list tonight, except one thing, Meshtastic. And Glenn, here's a big, Michael, what is it, Michael Knight? Over in, he lives in West Memphis.
In Memphis?
Yeah, he lives
that's
in
Michael
Memphis.
Knight.
He lives in West Memphis now. And boy, they're really doing a lot of digital stuff over there. They've taken my
I talked to him about that this weekend.
They put my old repeaters back on, and they've got digital stuff running, and I don't know what all they got running, D-Star and all this digital stuff. I don't even know how to describe it. But they're doing a lot of this mesh stuff, and I talked to him about it, and I said, what do I do if I set me up a mesh network like that, and what do I do with it? He says, you can send a message to yourself. So I'm thinking,
Think of it as a modern version of packet radio.
Yeah, I'm not sure I want to send a message to myself and get all that trouble. It may be fun to experiment with, but...
Well, think about for like disaster nets being able to relay digital data like pictures and stuff using these little Meshtastic units.
I don't think you can send a picture over that.
I'm sure you can.
I think it's a text-based only. And I think there may be a limit. I think there's a limit too on the characters. I don't know. Anyway,
I don't know.
Anyway, I think I'm not going to do it. Maybe I can find another project to do. That'd be cool. Plus, there's one other guy here in Collierville that is doing it, and I don't think he can reach the Memphis group. There's
Mark P is saying text only.
Yeah, there's 8 or 10 people that have nodes in Memphis, but I don't think he can reach them from here. So, it'd be limited to me sending him a test and him sending me a test. So, I don't think I'm gonna do it right now. Maybe I'll look at this again later. I do have my antenna
I'm supposed to be writing a book about it, so I guess I'm going to be getting into it.
Okay, well, that's cool. And maybe you can convince me that I need to do it. Show me what it's good for. Show me what it's good for and how I can use it. And, if we had a disaster here, I can't send just to anybody. I'd have to send just to people that have it, and half of them probably won't have it on. So, I don't know. Anyway, I'll get your book, and I'll figure out, how to proceed there. All right. Okay. Well, hey, let me make this quick announcement here. We're getting close to the end of the show tonight. If you're out there listening on shortwave radio, it's Thursday afternoon, somewhere between 5 and 7 p.m. Eastern, and you're listening to Amateur Radio Roundtable, a show about ham radio, shortwave, electronics, and so forth. And we're coming to you from w5kub up in Monticello, Maine, right on the border of Canada and the U.S. up there. So send us a signal report if you're hearing the station. Just send that to Tom at w5kub.com. You can join our show on Tuesday nights just by going to a lot of places. The easiest place is probably just to go to w5kub.com, and there you'll see a little yellow button that says join the chat and video. So if you go to w5kub.com, you'll see the video for the show on the left, and you'll see the chat room on the right, and you can actually chat with us live as the show goes on. But we are on a Facebook group. Our Facebook group is called W5KUB. Please join it. We've got over 14,000 members. We stream our show on our Facebook group. We also stream on x.com under W5KUB, and we also stream on YouTube. If you got a subscribe button down there, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and hit that notify button. Really helps us out a whole lot there. All right, that's about all I've got. We've got about 7 more minutes until our time runs out on our radio show. Glenn and Brett, do you guys have anything you want to talk about?
Let's see. Upcoming events, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here in Laramie, Wyoming, okay, it's not a not a place where a lot of listeners are, but if you're in the area, we're going to be doing a big POTA party this coming weekend.
Okay.
And of course, Dayton is getting close, and that's going to be quite an adventure. I am working on an oscillator to compete in that logic chip transmitter event that they're going to be having, and I'm winding a little transformer for it, for the to get the output impedance just right, and working on some tricks to try to get the maximum possible output out of a TTL chip without blowing the TTL chip to bits. I don't know how I'm going to do, but I'm sure going to give it a try. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Well, hey, I got those tri-filter transformers. I could send you one. I don't know how it would match, if it matches your chip or what, but I'll be glad to send you one if you want one.
Yeah. Well, the trick is to get you've got your maximum amount of collector current going through your transistor before you blow it out completely. So you got to put a certain resistor in series with your collector of your transistor. And once you've done that, you set the impedance, and so you have to match that impedance. You have to convert that impedance down to 50 ohms. And so I'm experimenting with winding little transformers to do that. And assuming for example you could put a 75 ohm resistor there, then you need to do a 3-to-2 transformer. And so I've got a little ferrite core, and I'm winding that and seeing if I can transformer couple it so that when it comes out on a dummy load and they measure it, it comes out to exactly 50 ohms. Because then I get the maximum power transfer out of the transistor.
Yeah,
so that's the kind of thing I'm working on. And of course, with an amplifier, your current and your voltage are not exactly in phase coming out of it. And that affects it too, and that also changes what impedance, exactly what output impedance you get.
Yeah, one of the things that I saw tonight laying in my junk box was one of these old, the old TV matching transformer, 300 ohms to, it was 300 ohms to 75 ohms. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep, and that's not the right ratio.
You can open one of those up, and you got the toroid there, and it's already wound. That's a 4-to-1. That's a 4-to-1 balance right there.
Yep, it's a 4-to-1, but I don't know if that's what I need. I
Yeah.
think I need 3-to-2, but I could try one of those. I'm sure I've got one of those. Probably, where those were used a lot. They were used a lot on video games when you attach them to an NTSC TV, and might because they had 75 ohm outputs, and very often your TV had 300 ohm twin lead
Yeah. Yeah.
inputs.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you
So I
might
might be
try
able to
that,
find one.
and hey, get one, and hey, they're small, and play with it, take a turn or two off here or there, and that'll reduce the impedance.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know how many watts I can get out of maximum out of any TTL chip, but it's sure worth a try.
Yeah. You won't have any problem burning up the transformer, the TV transformer. I bet you those suckers would take 10 or 15 watts easy.
Easily, yeah.
Yeah.
What about using the H series, the 74H series of chips? Can you get that chip in an H?
Or I need to. I'm going to be experimenting with a couple of different chips to see which one gives me can give me the most output and not blow up, because
Well,
I'm not sure what's going to be best.
you saw my email. I've got the 74 ACT 244. That's the same as the 240, except you need a 240 if you're going to run an oscillator on the same chip. If you're not going to run an oscillator on the same chip, the 244 becomes the power amplifier, and they just put everything in parallel.
Yeah, their rules say that you have to put the oscillator on the same chip.
Right, so you would need the 240, the 72 ACT 240 is what I found when reading on the. Did you see the article? I sent you a copy or the link to the article that Hans did when he won the contest last time.
Yep, I looked at it. It looks like a good circuit. I think I can optimize a little better. We'll see how I do. It's just
Yeah.
it's.
I'm not
I mean, this is
sure. I'm not sure if you can use the same circuit. They may not. They may frown on that. Use a circuit that
yeah.
somebody built last year and they won it. So I don't know.
Well, his circuit looks
Last
a
year it was
lot
with a
like
2N22.
Well, this must have been before because he was it was a chip. No, it was a 2 and 2.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. He had the article I sent you had 2 and 22s, the metal ones. And Glenn, he had those metal ones stuck up in the end of a copper pipe.
Yeah, I was there. I physically
Oh,
saw
okay,
his
cool.
his thing.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tom, I've got a
Well,
screen share here of the fox hunt.
Do you? Okay, let's show it real
oh,
quick.
let's see that.
Screen share. Let me get Glenn on here. Oh, I had it up, I think, right here. There it is. That right here. You got any audio with it? No. Are you there, Glenn? Anybody there? You there, Brett?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, okay.
I muted myself, but I
Yeah,
am here.
I don't hear Glenn, but I see the fox hunt.
Yep, I do.
The guy's using the tape measure antenna there. Actually, I'm not so sure how directive that antenna is in a small park like that. You know what I think would work best? I think a coffee can with just a little receiver stub inside it might work better, where you can aim that open coffee cup different directions. And Glenn, you're muted. Let's see. Virtual calling Glenn. Let's see. Glenn, talk to me here, Glenn. Let's see.
Oh,
Okay, I got you there. Hang on. Well,
Hello.
All right. Okay. I got your audio there now. I don't know what.
You
I
broke me.
guess. Yeah. So did you have that one? I saw one picture. Did you have more than one?
Right. That's the only one I had.
Okay.
The others were identical, but the
Yeah.
person with their back to you there was Michael Knight, KK4
Oh, okay.
IOH, which ran the fox hunt.
Okay.
And the other guys were all new to fox hunts. So this was a newbie fox hunt. And that was a lot of fun. They had a lot of fun. And I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I
a
really
fox
think-
hunt in a
yeah.
park like that, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I really think, man, a coffee can with a little couple inch stubs.
I agree.
Just mount a coax connector on a coffee can back here and put the little.
The big
stub
thing
in there.
is you're going to need some directivity so you can find a direction, but a lot of attenuation.
And you don't want to pick up a lot of signal at all.
No, you want some kind of attenuator where you can take it all the way down to the noise.
Yep. Yeah.
But
And
something
most
directional.
modern rigs, most modern handy talking stuff now, they're not even a squelch knob on there. You got to go in settings, and
Right.
change your squelch, and that's not that great, I mean, yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
But no, it was fun. Doing it in a park was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
So, what kind of antennas did people generally use? Yagis or
They used
coffee cans,
Yagis, the tape measure antennas, and Michael had a commercial handheld antenna of some description that it was almost like a loop,
Yeah.
a vertical loop that would give you direction, and it had a compass on it, so you could actually get bearings and stuff. But it looked commercially made.
The guy that won it in Russellville last year, he had a handy talkie with rubber duck. He had a pie pan. He just held the pie pan behind the antenna like that,
Yeah.
and
Well, yeah, a loop is going to have good nulls on the side, but of course the front and the back are going to have equal gain.
yeah.
So you could walk exactly the wrong way.
Yep. That's why I
Yeah.
think the coffee can's the best way. I'm gonna sell coffee cans for. Can you even buy coffee cans anymore? Are they metal or are they something else? I don't know. I don't drink coffee.
Good question.
I don't even drink coffee, so I don't know.
I don't remember seeing a metal coffee can in forever.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw some at the market just last week.
All right.
Okay.
Cafe Du Monde still comes in a traditional coffee can.
Yeah. Mark
Oh,
says
there you go.
Mark says most of them are plastic cans now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, back in the day when we had what they call MDS, multi-point distribution system, that was the very first movie channel that Memphis had. It was up on the high building at 30 or 40 stories. MDS.
That's what.
And that's when we built the receivers in coffee cans, and we had a little voltage variable oscillator, and we would take the coffee can and we could watch the single channel of movies. That was Gene Autry. Yeah, that was
Now, what
Gene
frequency
Autry's
was that?
station.
Somewhere in the gigahertz range.
I don't know. It was
1.4?
it was way up there. It was up there, but I was able to receive it 30 miles away on my tower. I built a little 3-foot dish, and we put it up on a tower about 70 feet and aimed it toward where it was in Memphis, and just a little simple power supply, variable voltage power supply, and it tuned the frequency. And
I love Bill's story here in the chat.
Yeah, the frequency mixed with the oscillator, and the difference came out to be the TV channel 2 frequency or channel 3 or wherever you want to put it, and it was a decent picture. It was good. Yeah.
Yeah. Bill's little story here has got to be read for those that aren't in the chat. I think it was the Indy Ham Fest where we had a pretty girl carrying the hidden transmitter around the Ham Fest. To win, you had to ask the person if they were the fox. Several of the hunters got slapped and one got a date until they found the actual girl with the transmitter.
Oh man.
That's a good fox hunt story right there.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yes, you look like a fox. I
Yeah.
can see that.
Uh, yeah, these days that'll get you slapped, but you know,
Yeah,
times were different back then.
yeah. Well, it might be a compliment. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just fun.
All right,
Love the
guys.
concept.
We've about reached our time limit here. So had fun tonight. We had some interesting things going
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have anything happening now until Dayton.
All right. Say
So I get to
73s.
kick
Good
back
night
and
to everybody
relax.
in the chat room. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Good night.
We're glad we had you and had
73.
you with us. 73.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What would be cool is to hide the transmitter on a person that's hunting it.
Yes.
You know, stick it.
Well, Bill said they hid
Yeah.
the transmitter in the shopping cart of a homeless person, but
Yeah.
the homeless person was a local ham in disguise.
Yeah.
I
Uh-huh.
like that.
Oh, yep. Put it in but put it in one of the hunter's back pockets. Everywhere he goes, the signal is the same, man. Everywhere he goes. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
boy.
what I
like that.
mentioned. You know, the fox for this hunt would have been small enough to tape it or stick it in a sock.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
was walking around with the guys. That would have really had fun.
All right, guys, everybody,
So
good
anyway-
night. Good night, everybody. Good night, good night, good night. We're going to turn it off. I'm going to get me some popcorn and maybe chill out. Maybe find me a good old movie to watch or something like that.
There you
And,
go. Yeah.
I'm batching it. Batching? Is it batching? Batch.
Yeah, you're batching it.
I'm batching it this week. Kathy has gone up to it's like they're Dayton, but it's a sewing deal up in Paducah, Kentucky. And talk
cool.
about big, Dayton will get 30,000 people. Well, this sewing thing up here, it's 3 or 4 days long. This sewing thing, I get like 50,000 people.
Wow.
I mean,
Is this like
it's a big deal, and it's every year.
a
Yeah.
quilting bee or something?
Yeah, what is it? Yeah,
Quilting bee?
I don't know if it's
Probably
quilting or-
sewing in general,
It may be quilting.
you know, all
I
encompassing.
should know. That shows
stuff.
me I don't pay a lot of attention here.
Quilting
I'm gonna
takes a
say
lot
it's
of
all
time.
Let me do
encompassing.
You're there for a
hey,
long
I'm gonna do a
period.
search real quick. I'm gonna do a search in here and see if I can find out what it is. Let's see. So if I go here, let's see. Let's ask Grok. No, Grok. How do you say that?
Grok.
Rock.
Grok. Okay.
For what it's worth.
What
It's an old
is
Robert
the
Heinlein
sewing?
phrase that he created.
What is the sewing meeting in Paducah? He spelled Paducah. P-A-D-U.
Paducah.
Oh, yeah. In
Yep.
Paducah, Kentucky. Let's see if he knows what
First
it
grade
is.
spelling champ there.
Yeah, let's see.
There you go.
The sewing meeting in Paducah likely refers to the AQS Quilt Week, a major annual event hosted by, that's probably it.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Quilting bee.
Yeah.
Very
April 23rd, that's it. Let's see, what's the attendance? View hundreds of quilts, let's see. Events. What's a big deal? People from all over the country go to it. Let's see.
Very cool.
Let's see. Okay, I'm going to ask what the attendance is. Okay. We'll copy that, and we're going to say what is the attendance of whatever that thing is. This guy's pretty smart here.
Yeah, he tends to know a lot. Bit of a know-it-all,
That
though.
only says 15,000 there. But I had heard it was bigger than Dayton. Anyway, it's Dayton size probably for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there we go.
Very cool.
All right. Good night again, everybody, for the third time.
There you go.
As my old boss used to say, I've told you for 99 times.
Yep.
Good night.
Third time's the charm.
Yeah. Good night, everybody. We will see you next week. All right. Let's see.